What are they claiming? They'll clear away corruption. We gave them not a time, two times, unaware of the consequences, and then retracted and said, "I'm sorry, but this has not happened." Then what happened to the demonetization and the black money?
Vanakkam, a very good afternoon to all of you. Tamil Nadu is a very fascinating and unique state. We have people who say Hey Ram and also Hail Ramasamy. And of course, we have the nationalist Andavan, the man with the Rajaparvai, who is known to take the Thamodharan. Politically, he prefers to be in the center. Now, he is in the right place. I mean the Hindu. On that note, I'd like to begin this conversation. Some of it could be repetition from the earlier conversation that we had in this room. So now that we have decided to back the ENT Congress, India bloc in the Lok Sabha court, the Makkal Needhi Maiam itself is entering a new phase in politics, I would say. So where do you see your political journey heading from here?
Makkal Needhi Maiam is a recent addition to this map. But new phase wise, I think Makkal are themselves entering a new phase. It's very important for India, I think, from my point of view. And I've been an observer, conscious observer for at least 50 years. Before that, I was just distracted with other things, but now I've been a conscious observer, improving in my perception of the country, slowly, step by step, at least decade by decade. And now we've arrived at a position where party profiles don't matter, the country profile matters. What political ideology we're going to pursue for the rest of the century matters. So we are at that cusp, and that is why I have taken this decision.
You said we are at the cusp, but multiple opinion polls have given the BJP a clear edge. What do you make of these opinion polls?
That's an opinion. I am more interested in the polls. So, and above all, I'll start at my doorstep. My house, my doorstep, my street, and then the nation. And this seems to be, I was just saying, I was not joking when I said this could be the thermophill holding back the big invasion. When I say invasion, I am not treating my brethren as enemies, but certain ideologies will create that divide. It didn't start now, as I was telling you before in our discussion. It started many years back, even 70, 80 years back. The divide that we have this schizophrenia of we are this and we are that also. Certain times one character acts up and it needs some healing.
So you have been about Gandhian. So how relevant do you think Gandhian philosophy is to date to this modern day?
I'm a fan, admirer, an audience, but not a captive audience like we keep. I'm free. I'm very sure that if I lived around this time, I could have been as free. Of course, there'd be still some khadi-clad commandos who would have clobbered me for talking against Gandhi. But then my voice would have been heard, as it was heard in Videography when they shouted back at him, and he had answers. His own son embarrassed him in a railway station, and he said, "Gandhi Murdabad, Kasturiba Zindabad." He shouted in a station. For me, I demand more statesmen like Gandhi. I'm not hoping. And once again, I refuse to call him Mahatma. I've never addressed him as Mahatma. I've always called him Bapu when I'm very fond of some memories, or I've called him Mr. Gandhi. Never Barrister Gandhi. That didn't matter to me because that part of him, not that it didn't appeal to me, but he never sort of thrust it forward as his profile. So for me, it is either Babu or Mr. Gandhi, M.K. Gandhi. So I think we need more statesmen like him, and he is not inimitable. He is imitable, but do you have the gut to go that route? That's a question everyone will have to ask themselves. So I'm looking for more of Mr. Gandhi, and I'm very sure you'll find, if you're willing to respect, give at least 10% of the respect you gave. And the profile of Gandhi, you will find in your mirror, not on a rupee note. That's the wrong face.
So while on the subject of Gandhi spoke about inclusiveness, tolerance, but very recently a BJP union minister made some controversial derogatory reference to people of Tamil Nadu. And do you worry that the political discourse in the lead up to this election
once again
will get more divisive?
About tolerance, I've spoken, back-chatted Mr. Gandhi when I went to Harvard. What do you think of tolerance? I said, that's a dated thing which my Bapu spoke of. What would you tolerate? You tolerate a headache. You don't tolerate a friend. You accept a friend. So I'm not a great advocate of tolerance. We are not testing our pain threshold now. So we must accept it. And I don't want them to tolerate me. They'll have to accept me, which means they'll have to respect me. Just for a fancy rhetoric, you cannot bring down a whole culture. When Bapuji's ashes were desecrated in Nagpur or someplace, they asked me, what have you to say? I said, well, to keep to his tradition, we assure you that Mr. Nathuram Godse's ashes which are lying in Nagpur will be very safe. We will be the commandos who will guard it. We will respect his children also. That is the inclusive society we must have. And this gentleman, we are not going to call him names, but we will gently, slowly, but decisively teach him his manners.
Yeah, moving on to current political question. You have been an vocal opponent of the CAA, so are the DMK and the Congress. In fact, the DMK government says that it will not implement the CAA. But then state governments hardly have any role in the implementation of CAA. So in that context, do you see them making any meaningfully opposing the CAA even now at this stage?
No, I'll take Justice Chandrachud's clarion call. That's who can take that Supreme Court can make that decision. But he has said, I will do my bit, but do not fear anything. Walk into the streets and demand for it. And that also we should do, all of us. So that CAA is not pertaining to one community. It's an attack on the constitution, according to me. It's not an attack against a community. They can shift communities whenever they want, according to the situation and the season. For us, we are meant for all seasons. So we need all communities.
So when it comes to election campaigning in Tamil Nadu, Prime Minister Modi and the BJP have always been focusing on issues like dynasty politics and corruption. What's your take on that?
What are they claiming? They'll clear away corruption?
Yeah, that's the claim. That's what Modi has been assuring. He says Modi's guarantee.
The time. We gave him not a time, two times. And what has happened? As a matter of fact, when demonetization came, I was so happy because they are going to do away with the black money situation. I spoke too quickly and then retracted and said, I'm sorry, but this has not happened. Someone made a very good cartoon of emptying the pond to get crocodiles. They all walked out, the fishes all died. And that's what happened. And so this talk of corruption, what are we talking about? Bonds?
I think that's a good subject to discuss, in fact, electoral bonds. I think you can share your views on that as well.
Yeah. So who started the idea? And why is it not transparent? The question is, why is it not transparent? And why strangely ED raids and donations seem to almost correlate. Either it's before or after an ED donations are made. Companies which are making lesser profits than the donation. Then what happened to the demonetization and the black money? Is it still circulating? These are questions. These are not accusations yet, but it might turn to that soon.
But do you see the electoral bonds making any real impact in the elections against the BJP?
Money is money, it will make its impact, but it should be, if it is a transparent, open sort of transaction, people should know about it. It shouldn't be anything under the table is suspicious.
No, my question is, will the people vote on the basis of this electoral bond expose that the BJP has taken money, not been very open about it, other parties have also taken money?
See, it is this kind of democratic medication is like old-fashioned medication. It takes time. Over time, it might work, but instant results you may not get. There will still be people, ignorant voices who voice themselves for the wrong cause. This coinage, even now, some voices, ignorant voices are raised. He said around 47. He calls them ignorant, he dares call them ignorant, but he was very sure he's not going to go seeking and folded for votes. So he said that. So I would say that most of them are unaware, let's not use the word ignorant, unaware of the consequences, and so they might do the wrong thing. Might. You still cannot.
One last question politically is, the DMK has given one Rajya Sabha berth to the Makkal Needhi Maiam. So next year, do we see Kamal Haasan in the Rajya Sabha?
No, that's what they are planning, but that's more than that is when they were asking me, are you looking for 39-0? I am looking forward to it. That means we made a solid statement on behalf of the nation. It's not a standalone statement. We are setting a trend for the nation to follow.